Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about what old souls must know before it's too late. So often for somebody who can find yourself as being an old soul, you find yourself feeling older than others. You find yourself that when you start researching the concepts behind the spirituality, maybe you've started meditating and you found yourself being familiar with it before you even started learning about it. You feel gravitated towards ancient culture and you feel more connected to old people than maybe something that is kinda regular or normal in the society. You're an old soul and there's something you must know. So often people which have found themselves as being old souls, they like to be alone. They like to spend many time alone. And when it comes to that, it's important to understand that aspect of ourselves. Firstly, when we are talking about old souls, we understand the concept of time. We kinda understand it here in the third dimension. But when we go beyond that, there is no time. So there's only wisdom and life's experiences. And that's how we can determine how old a certain soul is. The best way to explain it would be how wise a certain soul is. And because you can find yourself as a truly wise soul, even if on a conscious level you can't truly understand it, deep inside you feel like you understand most of the things and you're not here just to fall into the rules of society. You're not here just to follow everybody else. You're here because you want to impact the world in a positive way. You're here because you want to bring something beneficial to the world. But maybe you don't know how. Maybe you don't know how to do it, but you feel that there is something you need to do. If that's you, you are an old soul. And there's something you need to know. Old souls often feel more attracted to be alone than to be spending time with people. The reason for that is because when we are alone, when we are at quiet places, we can reconnect back with our nature, with who we truly are, and that's where we start remembering back again why we came here at the first place. What is our mission? Of course, it's also important to nurture our social life, because that's how we can understand how people are working and we can exchange the ideas, we can build the communities and we can connect with same-minded people. And eventually also we can find other people who found themselves as being old souls. And it's important to understand that before it's too late, because often we find ourselves truly drained because we don't know what is happening, because we don't know how to stand for ourselves, how to protect our sacred energy, and how to truly understand what is going on. So often it's important to find a moment in a day where you truly reconnect back with yourself and you schedule that alone time. If you have found yourself being an old soul, it's truly important for you to schedule an alone time, being alone, because it will help you to stay on higher vibrations. It will help you to reconnect back with the nature of who you are, and you will see that at that moment, if you will be doing that consistently, you will see that eventually there will be an experience which will feel like a certain portal of wisdom is opening for you, and you will start receiving truly empowering ideas, empowering information, and you will start experiencing a guidance how to implement and how to use this information for, firstly, for your greater good, but then also for the greater good of society or maybe of your environment. And for many of you, it's already happening because I can see in the comments. That's why I wanted to make this video. I often see in the comments that people are going through this kind of moments, that people are actually remembering, because right now an awakening process is really increasing, and often I'm receiving messages, such an incredible messages about what people are remembering about themselves and about maybe their past lives or their past experiences and experiences with beings from other dimensions and out-of-body experiences and all of that. So it's truly interesting to talk about it, and often it's hard to find this kind of information, so it's important also to be open. When you come across a certain information like that, be open for it, because there's a reason that you are seeing that. And that's what is bringing us to the next thing you must know as an old soul. And before it's too late, my friends, you feel drawn to knowledge and wisdom, and most probably to the truth of whatever is behind everything we see and we perceive. And often, if we are ignoring that feeling, we will feel like nothing makes any sense. So how often you feel like nothing in the world is making any sense? That's again, we fall into the slower vibrational states, into the slower emotions, where we just feel like nobody understands us, we feel alone, we experience loneliness, and then we feel like we just don't belong here. The truth is that we are coming from somewhere else. But when we feel drawn to certain knowledge, to certain wisdom, and eventually to the truth behind everything, it's important to follow that calling. So every time you experience like you don't belong here, or like nobody understands you, there's actually a part of you calling you to understand more. It's truly important to follow that voice. As I said before it's too late, before you fall into the slower emotional states, it's important to understand what's the purpose of certain experience. So often when you feel like nobody understands you, it's just that people in your environment don't understand you. It doesn't mean that there is nobody which would understand you. Often it can help you if you find maybe a past life regression therapist, or somebody with whom you can connect on that soul level, or somebody with whom you can meditate together, because there's another aspect of life which not many people are talking about it, and in society in the past it was not really normal that people would just gather together and meditate and then talk about what they've experienced during meditation. Native Americans were doing it all the time. Every single morning they gathered together and they were talking about dreams, what they've been dreaming about and what are the messages in the dreams, and then shamans were teaching them about the meaning of their dreams. In the ancient times we knew all of these things, and because you are an old soul, you have that ancient understanding of many different aspects of life, but on a conscious level we don't understand that, and we don't know why we feel drawn again to a greater understanding, and the first calling towards a greater understanding is feeling lost. So if you feel lost, or you feel stuck, or you feel like nobody understands you, It's actually your calling to a greater knowledge and wisdom, so you can get closer to the truth. Never ignore that. Never ignore the feeling within your heart. The feeling within your heart will always tell you where your soul is guiding you. Where your soul is guiding you. And that's what is leading us into our introspective perception, or better said, introspective sensing. So we learn to sense what we feel. Again, our soul on that soul level, we know that, we understand that. But on a conscious level, nobody is talking about it. In our environment, in school, nobody was teaching us that. And our parents most probably were not talking about it. People which were around us when we were little were not talking about it. So even if we had certain experiences, certain mystical experiences, most probably we've been taught that we are just making things up. If it is happening to you, it's a great moment to reconnect with yourself and start exploring what is happening on that soul level within you. What are you feeling? Learn to identify your feelings. When you feel, for example, as I was talking before, you feel alone. It's a first reaction, I feel alone. But maybe you're not feeling alone. Maybe your feelings are actually telling you, get back to me. Take time for yourself. Because often we can experience a sense of frustration because we see something is happening on the world and we don't like it, and we experience a frustration and we say, oh, I'm angry towards governments because they did this and that. But deep inside, in that inner experience, what is actually happening is that soul is guiding us to find a quiet space, to reconnect back with yourself, so you can actually sense what are the gifts that you can give to the world, so things can slowly start changing. Of course, you can't change the governments or whatever, but your actions and your behaviors can influence your environment, that slowly people around you will start changing. And that's actually the power that we all have, and the power is within us. The power to make changes is within us. And it's important to understand that before we lose ourselves, again in this miserable, negative emotional states where it's much harder than to get back to ourselves. So often you also like to see a bigger picture, right? You like to see what is truly going on. And when that is happening, often people feel attracted towards conspiracy theories, because there we can find answers or maybe just information which nobody else is talking about it. But those information are not necessary to be real. They're just really interesting, and there's like a never-ending journey. So it's also important to ground ourselves, because if we truly want to see a bigger picture, we will experience it, not just see it, we will experience it when we ground ourselves and reconnect back with who we truly are, because at that moment we suddenly start sensing the bigger picture. It's not really necessary that we will ever find answers outside of us. You can find any source, any book, any video, any information, but it will not be the truth. It can be an expression of how somebody understands the truth, but it may not be your truth. That's why there's so much misunderstanding and so much conflicts in the world, because people are expressing their truth. But rather than finding the connection between all other all others' expressions and finding what is actually connecting us and how everybody is uniquely expressing one and the same thing. People are arguing like why somebody is wrong and why somebody else is right and all those different things. We truly need more understanding, and because of people like you, we can gain more understanding because you see the bigger picture, you feel it, you sense it with your whole body. So truly nurture that part of the soul. The purpose of this video is to remind you to nurture that part of yourself, which often we are forgetting. We are forgetting about that part because nobody is talking about it. But there is an energy body, there is a soul body, there are higher dimensions, which at some level we are all aware of it. But if we are too lost on just material life, we forget about it, and then we are asking like why we always feel there's more and why we feel so attracted to mysticism and symbolism and ancient culture and some wisdom from the past and maybe spirituality and meditation and yoga and all those different practices. We feel drawn to it because there are answers we are searching for. So, my friends, this is it for today. I'm sending you all love, blessings, and lots of power. Have a beautiful day, and I hope you've enjoyed today's painting. If you would like to learn to paint with me, go and check out my other YouTube channel, Art Time. The link is in the description. See you there. Until next time, one love.